It's 1:45. Thomas Jones hasn't showed up today yet, and I'm now out of water. Well, maybe there's a few drops left. Okay, a few drops. But otherwise, this is empty. And so I'm going to resort now to the other liquid that we know John Wilkes Booth had with him. He actually had this quite a few times over the escape route. He asked for it. Some on the lens. He asked for it from Lloyd. Lloyd gave him some. And then we know that Jones brought him this when he was out here. Bourbon whiskey, or American whiskey. This was not provided to me by my Thomas Jones. This was provided to me courtesy of Rick Smith, who, being the gentleman that he is, also went with me to Gettysburg to get my clothes, and he is even the one responsible for fashioning this crutch, which he and another friend of his made by hand. So, if it wasn't for Rick, I doubt that this whole excursion would have ever happened. I am not a drinker. I actually usually don't drink at all, not even beer, and so this will be my first time ever trying whiskey. And we're going to see how that goes. But when in Rome, and so Booth, back then it was safer to drink booze than it was to drink the water because you never knew what was in the water. So it wouldn't be fair if I didn't try this while I'm out here. And it's past noon after all, so I should be fine. Ooh, it smells strong. Wow. Ooh. Well, that is strong. Yep, that's a drink that Booth would like, alright. Mm-hmm. Now, I wish I had some more water left. Probably should have waited. I'll probably try some more later, but at least now I can say that my first drink of whiskey was out in the woods, pretending to be John Wilkes Booth. And thank you, Rick, for sending this with me. Whew. Yep. This is why I drink lemonade. Jones. Right after Thomas Jones left but brought him the valuable newspapers that he desired, Booth devoured the news, looking to see how the nation would perceive what he had done. One common theme started to emerge. Why, in God's name, any man favorable to the rebel cause could have been so mad, insane, and under those circumstances as to have done such a deed, to have enacted such a tragedy, passes our comprehension. It is a mystery that time alone can solve. They have not only stricken down the head of the nation and thereby committed a crime that is without parallel in this country, but they have murdered their own best friends and made their own cause desperate. No more can they hope for leniency, no more can they expect one mouth to open to save them from the driest punishments known to the law, known to Christian civilization. The cry will go out for blood. The terrible will be the punishment. As terrible has been the crime, we tremble at the consequence that it may involve. This is from April 15th. Virginia. The sorrowful intelligence of the assassination and death of President Lincoln caused the greatest excitement and sorrow here. Business everywhere was entirely suspended. Flags were displayed at half-mast from all the public buildings. Bells were tolled and the city draped in mourning. A mass meeting of the citizens was called for tonight. The city presents a most somber, solemn aspect. The blow is felt to be a national calamity. And all these accounts, as he read more and more about how his deed was being taken, it just made Booth angry, angrier and angrier to see that no one understood what he had done in the way he had meant it. He expected for some to cry out for his head. He expected a manhunt to occur, but he also wished and desired and hoped more than anything else to read in these pages some semblance of a revolution, something that he had started, a reemergence of the Confederacy, this strong uprising, knowing that now that the tyrant is dead, we can still survive as a nation. But he read none of that. Instead, he read that everywhere across the country, people were mourning the president and cursing him for what he had done, calling him insane, calling him mad. Booth could take that no longer. Having no one to preach to but the trees and the birds, he took out his diary and began to write.
Burst out from the fort, clutching on a 44 for my country. Oh, the damn thing is done. Running on through the night, haunted like a parasite. Oh, my brothers, can't you see me through? Limping like a dog out of fight, hiding from the Union lights. Hold my compass, point the needle south. The deed is done, only my God can judge. And Southern man, I spilled this blood for you, this blood for you, this blood for you.
I struck boldly and not, as the papers say. I walked with a firm step through 1,000 of his friends, was stopped but pushed on.
Before the blue death comes, killing with a selfish hand. Brutus was a lesser man, 'cause my brothers, I shot true for you. The deed is done, only my God can judge. And Southern man, I spilled this blood for you, this blood for you, this blood for you.
For our proceedings, he or the government. Davy.